Good morning, everybody, and welcome to this pedagogical training for effective online teaching and learning organized jointly by Deen Dayal Upadhyay College, University of Delhi, and KTHM College, Nasik. I am grateful to the organizers, Dr. Kalpesh Amritkar and Dr. Shali Anand, for inviting me and giving an opportunity to speak to all of you in this workshop. I would first like to compliment the organizers and all of you for organizing a workshop on a subject which is so important, so contextual, I would say, today in today's scenario. Especially, we all know that the new education policy has been announced by the Government of India, Ministry of Education, just 2 days back. In fact, it is unanimously acclaimed as a path-breaking policy, which has come after about 34 years gap, which would bring out a real transformation in the field of education. There are a whole lot of things in that which I'm sure most or all of you would have read and seen in the newspapers and TV news channels. Now, this particular workshop, the topic of it is so relevant in the changing scenario. When we are transforming from the existing to a new educational system, which is highly oriented towards the student, is so flexible, in fact, to empower the students and most importantly, effective use of technology has been highlighted very much. Because in the last 34 years, the technology has grown tremendously. And like any other sector, the education sector also should exploit to the maximum to see that the benefits of the technology is available in the education also. Yes, we have been using many of the technologies, but then the emphasis now has become much more. So that's why I said that I would like to compliment the organizers and all of you for participating in such a relevant workshop. This would call for a lot of changes in all of us. The policymakers, the teachers, all the stakeholders, the teachers, the students, everybody. But then every stakeholder feels that this is the need of the hour, and we all know that change is the way of life. So, with this very brief introduction, I would now go to the topic of my presentation. That is, what are all the initiatives that the Ministry of Education has already taken so far? Many more to be taken now in the wake of the new education policies. A lot of stress is to be given to many of those, and it will be expanded The implementation policies are being worked out. So, but already we should know that what are all the initiatives that we have taken, the digital initiatives in the Ministry of Education. And I will try to put in some of the challenges or whatever in the wake of the new education policy as I speak about. So now, with your permission, let me switch over to the presentations that I have. Well, this is the digital initiatives in higher education. I would be talking basically some of the key initiatives under the National Mission on Education through ICT. That is NME-ICT. This project started about 8 to 9 years back. This has got certain key initiatives which have been implemented, like the SWAYAM, the digital online education platform, SWAYAM Prabha, the free DTH higher education channels, the National Digital Library of India, the virtual labs, E-Entra, and FOSI. This would be some of the initiatives which I would be emphasizing upon during my talk. Okay, if you look at the higher education sector of the country, there are about 1,000 plus universities and 40,000 colleges, with about 36.6 million, of which 79% are at the undergraduate level, and the boys and girls are about 19 and 17 million. 1.3 million teaching faculty. There are also about 58% are male and 42% are female. This is just to give you a glimpse of the higher education sector. Now, where do we stand at the moment as far as education is concerned in the world? The gross enrollment ratio, that is, which is a parameter that how many people between the age of 18 and 23 have enrolled in the higher education. We don't stand very well with respect to the rest of the world. The ratio is only about 26%, whereas we can see that in advanced countries like USA, it's 84%. And even in the developing countries, the average is about 36.5%. And developed countries, it's 45%. The objective of new education policy is to bring this 26 to 50 by about 2030. It's a huge challenge. That's on one side. And there is an index, international index, International Development Index, relating to the ICT, access, use, and skills. Here also, we do not fare very well when compared to the rest of the world. What I mean here is that among 167 countries, our rank is 131, which is pretty low. We are in the lowermost, almost in the lowermost bracket. Well, it's very ironical to see that all the software giants which we talk of, like Google or Amazon or Microsoft, or all these people, if you look at the population of the Indian people working there is very high. In every tech company in the USA, there is a large percentage of Indians who are working there. But then, as you say in Hindi, diya tale andhera. We are the people probably supplying the best manpower to the world. But what is happening in the country? We are not doing very well. we are not able to exploit the technology within the country. So we need to improve that. We need to use the technology within the country and develop things within the country. As the Honorable Prime Minister said, Atmanirbhar. That is, we have to use this technology ourselves and develop things within the country. That's very important. It's not that our people do not know technology. They can do it outside the country. Why cannot they do it within the country? That's the whole challenge. So it's not that we cannot do it. And the need of the hour is we should be doing it. Well, let me quickly, I'm not trying to discuss the new education policy. Some of the key fundamental principles, some of them, I am not again discussing all the principles because I thought which is relevant to the particular discussion today. I am trying to discuss that. That consists of flexibility. Means it should be flexible. The student, it should be flexible for the student to study the subject that they want. Well, as rightly pointed out, if an engineering student is interested in doing a course in music, well, he should be able to do that. So there should not be, there is no hard separations that, well, this is put in this bucket, this is put in that bucket. No. So this thing should be multidisciplinary and holistic education. Well, for this to be possible, online education would be one of the key instruments where this is possible. Key tools that should be exploited. That's where I am coming to. And as the other principles are, the emphasis should be on conceptual learning, not mugging up, not by hearting. It should be on the conceptual learning. And as I mentioned in the beginning, it is the extensive use of technology that would be very, very important here. And next is, as far as a country like India is concerned, which is geographically very, very vast, and every region, there are a lot of, some are, urban areas are there, rural areas are there, very difficult to access areas are there. All these are there. So full equity and inclusion means that when you talk of education, every student or every child anywhere in the country should have the access to the excellent education, the quality education. We know that. Today, that is not the case. In very remote parts of the country, the education facilities are not up to the mark. And they are not able to travel a longer distance and get educated. So this is a huge challenge before us, and the technology would give you a lot of solutions for that. That's why I thought that the new education policy, some of the key principles I should touch upon before I proceed on the initiatives per se. Okay. Again, this is only an elaboration on one of the, why should you go for digital education at all? See, as I was just mentioning, even after 70 years of independence, what is happening is there are competing demand on resources, excellence and equal access. At some cities or in the urban areas, you have excellent education that's available, whereas that's not so in different parts of the country. Even among the GER, I said that it's about 26%. That is not uniform across the country. It could be as high as 54 in Chandigarh and Bihar. It could be as low as 14, or even in some places still lower. So even that 26% that we have today is not uniform across the country. Now, if you try to build universities or colleges across the country, Probably one of the models says for the next 20 years, every month you will have to bring 6 universities and 270 colleges. It's an impossible task. We all know that. It's impossible task, right? Even if you put up the infrastructure, the buildings, but then we know that the colleges and the universities are not consisting of only buildings. Means teachers, qualified faculty to teach. Everything is put together. It should have excellent communication facility, means the connectivities. So these are all important in everywhere. That's where we are telling that. Well, this is what I mean to say is that it's not a viable solution building universities and colleges alone. Not that it should not be done, it should be done. But that is not going to get us where we want to reach. Certainly not. Now, we got to use the technology which would provide a fine balance to achieve both excellence and equivalency. Means everybody would have access to quality education. Now, well, when compared to yesteryears, we are in a pretty better shape now, much better. 61% are the internet users, and we are familiar with about 78% of online shoppers in the country. Means more and more are adopting to online. When you can do online for shopping, when you can do online for banking or railway reservation and stuff like that, certainly you can use online for education also. There are about 60 crore smartphones in the country. And one more thing, most important thing is that it is not learn, earn, and retire. Gone are those days when people used to learn something, earn a living, and lead a very calm, retired life with some pension. No. The whole world has changed. It's a lifelong learning system now. Every day you have to learn, be it for operating your washing machine or a new television. Everywhere technology is there. So you can't say that I will not use technology. No, sorry. If once you start using the technology, you got to keep on learning. That is the future also. Future of work is also like that. The technology is changing every day. So the ecosystem is totally changing now. So the simple point that I'm putting it across is that the ecosystem that is around us, the environment that we are living has changed to such an extent now that it's easy for us to adopt to online or digital initiatives. Now, I refer this book because it is so contextual. This was prescribed to me. In fact, I was asked to read this somewhere around 35 years back when there was a lot of resistance in some of us in doing some job. Changing some system. This is in case you have not read this book, I would strongly recommend that. Download it and read it. It's available in the net. It's just a small, I would say, book which can be read in 25 minutes by Dr. Spencer Johnson, Who Moved My Cheese. What is the sum and substance? What is the message that he is trying to convey? Let's see that. If you do not change, you can become extinct. Say, for example, if you say that today you will not use internet or you will not use a mobile phone, you will not change. What would happen? You would become non-existent. You will not be part of the society. Same is the case. How many of us, almost all of us use online banking, isn't it? If somebody says that, no, I will not use online banking, I will only go to the bank. Maybe there are certain countries, if you go to the bank, you will be charged because you are wasting the time. So you would become extinct, or you will become irrelevant in the society. So that's what he says, is that, you see, the change happens. Change is the way of life. I said that in the beginning of my talk. You cannot change it. I mean, you cannot prevent it from happening. But then, it is better that we anticipate the change, monitor the change, adapt the change quickly, change ourselves, and enjoy the change. See, it is very easy to say that because we have all inbuilt in us the resistivity to change. In fact, that is what this book says. Well, please practice yourself how to quickly adopt the changes. Once you change it, be ready to change quickly and enjoy it again and again. There is nothing more factual than changes are bound to happen. Change is the way of life. So what the simple book says is that, well, in fact, I do remember that when I gave this talk about 3 years or 3.5 years back about online education, there would be some people in the faculty who would say that, come on, well, it is not that. See, there's only one way of education. There has to be a teacher in the class. There has to be students sitting physically in the class. And that's the only way the education can happen. But then, do you think if somebody would talk like that today? No way. Of course, the pandemic, COVID-19, has accelerated this to a great extent, because it has forced us to sit in the home. And then, even today, you see, I am sitting at my home and delivering this talk to you. And 1 year back, for the last 3 years before that, I have been delivering this talk and similar ones physically. Now, well, I am doing it through technology. So the whole thing is, because it's very, very, very important, because it's our mind that is the first and foremost thing that one has to say that, no, instead of going with a prejudice that, well, online is something which can, but let me caution you one more thing very clearly. It's not substituting, it is supplementing. Is no way to demean that the formal method of education is going to be replaced and that's not good. No way. No. Let's be very clear on that. Online education is to supplement the formal method of education. But it's such a powerful tool, it can supplement it so very well. And one more thing, the role of the teacher is not going to be diminished. It's like I remember about 35, 40 years back, when we were trying to introduce computerization in the banks. There used to be a lot of resistance from the unions and all those people. They said people would end up jobless and all those things. What happened ultimately? Today, you go to any bank and ask the same people. Of course, the next generation would have come in. Would you be happy to work with some ledgers and stuff like that? Well, nobody will agree. Nobody will agree. Because today you can transfer the money in few minutes to one account to the other, which was unthinkable earlier. So the technology brings in changes, everything. So, and it is not replacing anybody. It is only improving the same system that we work with. So that's very important. Please, if at all somebody you have in the mind, let us not have this in the back of our mind that it's going to replace the formal education. No. Because we need to go fast, we need to extend this to all the students. We are making use of the technology, and in the long run, it will only help all of us. It's not going to deprive anybody of anything. It's only going to enrich all of us. Okay, now with this thing, now time has come for me to go specifically into some of the initiatives. I've talked in general so far about why you need the digital education, why it is important, why should we all change ourselves for adopting this. And that's where I said that the subject of the workshop is very important, because it does require a training for effectively to become effective in online. It's not easy. I'm not telling it's difficult or very this thing, but then it needs a mindset change. It needs certain training to adopt all these things. So with all this, let me now start looking at some of the key digital initiatives that the Ministry of Education has put in place. The first of that is SWAYAM. It's the National Online Education Platform. The acronym stands for Study Webs of Active Learning for Young Aspiring Minds. SWAYAM, that's acronym. This is basically a online education portal, which I'm sure many of you would have heard, the international online education portals such as Coursera or edX, Khan Academy, all this. Similarly, the Government of India, the Ministry of Human Resource Development, now the Ministry of Education, has put in place a national platform to promote what are the objectives: anyone, anywhere, anytime learning, and learning at no cost. All the courses in SWAYAM are free. There's no charges to be paid. The government, the ministry spends money, creates the course through eminent faculty, and puts it there for the people to access. Again, as we all talked about in the earlier, equity in access to quality education, which means that suppose a eminent faculty from a university records his courses, is now available for the students across the globe, across the country. Anybody can access that. This was launched on 9 July 2017. In fact, we have created 9 national coordinators. NPTEL, that is National Program for Technology in Education, that was an earlier project, under which the IITs were creating the courses on engineering. So engineering courses are coordinated by NPTEL. UGC and CEC, they are the national coordinators for all the undergraduate and postgraduate humanities and social sciences courses. IIM Bangalore for the management courses. IGNU for the Indira Gandhi Open University for the certificates and diploma courses. NCRT and NIOS are for the school courses, their teachers training and all. AICT is for the courses from other universities or self-paced courses. I'll come to what is self-paced course and what is a credit course. And then NITER, that is a technical teachers training. Now, there are certain unique features that are part of SWAYAM. How the platform works, I will come to that. That is, there is a regulation which permits credit transfer through SWAYAM. In fact, a student can take a course in SWAYAM and transfer the credits to the course in a university. What I mean is, let us say there is a student in the University of Delhi, and he has taken a SWAYAM course which is offered by a university in Maharashtra. Now, the credit earned through SWAYAM, can reflect in the University of Delhi mark sheet of the student. The necessary regulations are already in place for that. I'll give you more details as we go along. And also, under the career advancement scheme of UGC, creation of the courses in SWAYAM or undergoing a course in SWAYAM, these are all being counted towards the career development of the faculty in the university, which is very important. Now, let me give you a brief introduction of how the online portal of SWAYAM works. See, we are trying to mimic here the classroom. What all is done in the classroom, we are trying to create all that thing here. We are not replacing it, I told you. It will be only like beta jaisa. It's not beta. So, the 4 quadrants are that. The first quadrant is the video lectures. Like all the video lectures, like the classroom lecture the teacher is delivering, that consists of the first quadrant. The second quadrant, see what happens in the class. When the teacher teaches something, the faculty teaches something, the teacher would say that, okay, for supplementing this class, you can go ahead and read this material. That is the extra reading material. That is the e-content. It could consist of books, it could consist of tutorials, or whatever it is. All that will become in the second quadrant. The third quadrant is, see what happens in the class. The students could have doubts. Now here, the discussion forum, students can raise their doubts. Well, the advantages here is that it could be some of the other students who are listening to that through the forum may answer it. The teacher, the faculty, the monitors that discussion, and if a wrong answer is provided, it will say that no, this is not the answer, right answer. This is the correct one. So all the doubts can be clarified by the students. There will be discussions on the topics that you are teaching. These all happens in the discussion forums, exactly like what you happen in the class. The only difference is that it's happening online. And the fourth one is what happens in the class. The students will the teacher will take tests, the class tests. Maybe after 1 week or maybe after 4 or 5 days, give us a test. That is the assessment. Or the teacher could give some assignments. Okay, give a question and ask the student to submit it. So this is forming part of the fourth quadrant. So look at that. The videos are there. The extra reading material is there. The discussion forum is there. And the assessments and tests are there. Assignments are there. So this is all what happens in the class. The only thing is that this all happens in the online mode. And it is easier said than done. Because in a class, you may have only 40, 50 students. Here in popular courses in SWAYAM, we have seen that the number goes above even 10,000. So it's a large class. It is good also, it's challenging also. Good in the same that the teacher becomes so popular. And we have had cases where the popular teachers, there are some of them who are hugely popular. And well, they get the discussion forums become so active. So these are the 4 quadrants. And in the end, there is a proctored exam which is conducted at the end of the semester. That is conducted across the country. About 200 centers across the country by the National Testing Agency NTA for all the courses. Let me proceed now. I did mention about you that these are the national coordinators. This just reiterating that UGC is for the non-technology postgraduate courses. NPTEL is for the technical programs. Non-technical undergraduate programs by CEC, IGNU, diplomas and certificates. NCRT School Education 9 to 12. Out of School Children National Institute of Open Schools. IIM Bangalore for Management and NITER for Teachers Training. Well, as I told you, again, I would like to emphasize this, that this is the unique feature of SWAYAM is that it is integrated with the conventional education, which means that if you do a course in SWAYAM, up to 20% of the credits can be transferred. Means now it is getting extended to 40%. Already the approvals are there in place, and the UGC regulations will be coming through now. It's under preparation. Means if you are doing 6 courses, if a student is doing 6 courses in a semester in a university, 2 of them can be through SWAYAM. The credit will reflect in his mark sheet. Of course, the university will have to approve that, the parent university. But what is most important is that this legal framework for that is in place. The regulations by the UGC and AICTE are already in place for that. That is the most important. Similarly, for the APIs, the gazette notifications are in place where the credits are given to the faculty in their promotion, in their assessment for their contribution towards SWAYAM, and even for their regular faculty development programs can be done through SWAYAM. They need not go to physically to places to get the training done before their promotions. So this is very, very, very important, which is probably unique to the country. I haven't seen it anywhere else because this is so well integrated with the conventional education system in the country. Now, there is a SWAYAM board which consists of Secretary Higher Education, Chairman UGC, Chairman AICTE, the financial advisor, and all the national coordinators you are seeing. They decide the policies and all the important decisions are taken by the SWAYAM. As you can see that, it's a very powerful board which is there. And all the decisions are taken in this board. Now, I did talk about the integration with the conventional education. So here also in SWAYAM, for example, there are 2 semesters like in the conventional. There is a July semester and a January semester. Right now, we are in the July semester. Of course, the dates in this time have gone a little, I got a bit upset because of the COVID-19 pandemic. But otherwise, all the courses are SWAYAM in the July. Of course, we have started the courses in July. Now, only thing is that the enrollment date, instead of 31st August, we have postponed it to 14th September. About 45 days, we have postponed it. Then there's a course end date. There is an exam registration. The exams are on 2nd Saturday and Sunday of November. The results will be published by 15th December. And the certificates will be issued by 31st December. Like any other conventional education. So that the students can do part of it through SWAYAM, part of it through the university. The university may allow the students because some of the colleges may not have faculty for certain courses at some point in time. They may ask the students to take it through SWAYAM. And what we are doing now is that we have set up an exercise where all the courses in SWAYAM, all the subjects in humanities, and in fact, we have a large number of courses in engineering because they started a few years back. Whereas the number of courses in humanities and social sciences are comparatively less. So what we have started the exercise now is that according to the CBCS syllabus of UGC or the LOCS syllabus of UGC, we are identifying the courses that are already available and what are the gap areas in which the courses are to be developed. And we have put up an expression of interest that any faculty member who has put in 5 years of service and has a PhD in the particular discipline can offer the courses through SWAYAM. The ministry finances that production of the course. So if some of you are an eligible faculty who would like to offer the courses, please keep looking at the expression of interest. swayam.inflipnet.ac.in is the website. And of course, the links will be available in the UGC website and CEC and Ministry of Education websites. The only eligibility is that you should have 5 years of service and a PhD. And most importantly, the university should agree to give the grade. Suppose you are a faculty from the University of Delhi, because at the end of the exam, after the exam, unless the University of Delhi certifies that, okay, this much, the controller of examination or the dean academy or dean examination or somebody has to certify the credit or the marks code, then only a student from, say, let us say University of Mysore attending that course will be able to transfer the credit. So this is important, that the faculty should be eligible 5 years plus PhD degree, and the faculty, that university to which the faculty belongs should give their consent. These are the only things that are required. Then please put up your proposal. It will be evaluated by a group of academic council. They are all academic coordinators, national coordinators, our academic councils. And the financial norms, we pay about 13.5 lakhs to prepare a course and offer a course. And these are all available in that particular expression of interest. So we invite eligible faculty to come forward and offer good courses. We have a lot of gaps. A lot of courses need to be created, specifically, more specifically in the humanities and social sciences sector. Well, we have the annual refresher program in teaching, that is ARPIT. This is now done entirely through SWAYAM. As I told you, we have about 1.3 million faculty, higher education faculty there. These are offered through MOOCs. MOOCs means massive open online courses. Why it's called massive? Because the number of students which participate are very large. So that is why it is told that massive. Massive open online courses. Training maximum number of faculty and also to expose them to technology-enabled learning. That's a purpose. See, what are they focusing on? The trainings are twofold. In your discipline that you are there, and also on the pedagogical improvements and methodologies for transacting revised curriculum. And there is an end-term proctored examination for certification. At this point, let me mention that. In fact, it happens to be the topic of your workshop. I'm sure you would be exposed to more detailed sessions on this. The most important thing in a pedagogical improvement is that, you see, we talk of learner-centric MOOCs. MOOCs, you know what it is, massive online courses. All the courses in such online platforms are called MOOCs, which follow the four-quadrant approach. Anything that follows the four-quadrant approach, which we discussed earlier, that is e-content, extra reading material, then discussion forum and assessment. These are the four quadrants. Anything that follows the four-quadrant methodology is called MOOCs, massive open online courses. Now, to do this, see, you got to make it learner-centric. Means you should be able to keep the learner interested in the whole thing. You know, in this modern world, another aspect of this, the changes is that the attention span of a student, to keep it beyond about 10 minutes is very difficult. You just ask him to watch a video for half an hour or 45 minutes, very difficult. So you should improvise techniques in that. You should make it more interactive. Learning by doing. All these techniques are there. I don't want to go into that detail, but there are many techniques in which you speak for 7 minutes, 8 minutes, and make them do an exercise or answer them and put it back. Like that, you know, you got to make it interactive and keep them interested, keep it interested. You know very well that, you know, in a soap serial in television, they know how to keep you interested. They may be going for a commercial break. Before that, they will ensure that you come back by putting you in such a position, like, you know. Of course, in the education, it's more challenging than entertainment. Let me tell you, education is more challenging to do that. But that is where we need to achieve that. We need to achieve that. So I'm sure in your training program, you will be going into more details of that. What are all the pedagogical training that you require to make it more effective? That is very important. Now, ARPIT courses are counted as refresher courses, as I mentioned. In fact, I think it was in the Dil Dayal Upadhyaya College when I went last time. There were many faculty who were familiar with SWAYAM because They have done their career advancement, I mean, refresher courses through SWAYAM. They said that, sir, this is very nice because we don't have to travel. And especially ladies, they don't want to leave their family and go to a different location, and that too during summertime. They said that it was very nice for us. It's a huge facility for that, so are able to do the refresher course. So, and for the career advancement. So, and again, as I mentioned, development and delivery of courses through SWAYAM are counted towards academic performance indicator, API scores for the faculty. In fact, about 3 years back to be, now it's almost a year over after that, the Supreme Court came with an order that about 1.2 million, that is about 12 lakh teachers, I mean, of the elementary education, who are not having a B.Ed degree, were teaching in schools. So the government said, no, you got to have B.Ed before you teach. So they were getting jobless. They approached the Supreme Court, and Supreme Court said that, no, you run a program for all these 12 lakh people and conduct an examination. If they pass, you have to retain them. Otherwise, they need not be retained. Now, but the challenge was to do the diploma program for 12 lakh teachers simultaneously across the country. Well, how is it possible? Well, we made use of SWAYAM. We made use of SWAYAM Prabha in a 2-year program which was successfully completed, and the teachers who cleared all those are now having their certificate in that and retained in their job. So this is a very clear example of what we could achieve using the same technology. And without this, we just could not have done it. Well, when I say this, it's not that everything is a bed of roses. There are some challenges. Say, orienting the faculty to offer online courses. Well, there are many faculty, at least, that have changed quite a lot now. But 3 years back in 2017, when we were approaching the faculty for recording in the studios, using the tools such as digital boards and so on, well, it was not an easy job. They said that, come on, a chalk and a board, I'm okay. But this cameras and stuff like that. And you ask them to speak to the camera without any student in front of them. They will say, come on, I need the students in front of me. So these are the orienting the faculty. And I was mentioning about that, that how to keep the attention of the student without seeing the student in front of you is a challenge. That's where we need to change. But once you change and start using it, you would like it. You would like it, I'm sure of that. But how do you do that? That is the most important thing. Because orienting the faculty, in fact, this workshop is in that direction. Orienting the faculty to offer online courses is a big, big challenge. Now, unlike your conventional course, offering an online course is a team effort. Means, I told you there are in SWAYAM courses where there are 10,000 plus students taking a course. Do you think that as a single teacher, you would be able to handle their discussion forum questions or the assignments or the assessment? Or even for recording, you need the assistance of a good cameraman or an editor and all that thing. So what is most important is that, what is the thing is, it is a joint team effort. And even in one code, we have seen that the courses which are offered by a team of teachers, say 3 or 4 teachers joining together, this is much more than a single teacher. It's much more effective. So where the offering an online course is a team effort, it is not an individual effort like in the conventional one. Because it's massive, because it uses technology, you may not be an expert. You cannot do that because there is a cameraman, there is an editor, all these people are involved in that. Then and then only, you may have to use some animations in your courses. You have used some virtual laboratories in your courses. So all these are required. So it's a team effort. Now, one more thing which I have always felt that is important in the mindset is that accepting the changing role of the teacher. Means, when you're opening the student for online education, the student, let us say, that the student would have access to so much of information in the net. And in some cases, it would happen that the student would know more than the teacher. How does it matter? What is the role of the teacher? The teacher is more a facilitator. He or she is not the ultimate in the knowledge. No. The teacher is a facilitator who puts the students on the right path to acquire knowledge or education. We do that in the case of PhDs. Because the student who is doing PhD in a particular topic would obviously know more than the guide in that particular topic. But then the guide says that, okay, you go in this direction, try to explore, try to access, you will get more of it. So this is what we got to accept it. Because we need not feel bad. See, we do that today. When we go to a doctor and he prescribes an antibiotic or something like that, there are certain antibiotics who upsets your stomach. You know that from the net. The moment he prescribes amoxicillin, he will say, sir, doctor, will we not accept upset the stomach? The doctor doesn't feel bad on that, because today the information is available to everybody through many sources. You can't prevent it. That's the change that has happened. Let us accept it. And there could be some areas where the student could be knowing more than the teacher. Hardly matters. Hardly matters. But then, this is the role, the change that we have to accept ourselves and does not have to feel bad. Why I'm repeating this is because I had a couple of teachers who had asked me point blank in one of the workshops about 3 years back, again, 2.5, 3 years back when I was in Hyderabad, that, sir, the student would ask this question and I won't have the answer. He would see something somewhere else or some other course and he would come and ask me. I said, how does it matter? How does it matter? And probably, even teaching 30, 35 years back, I used to teach in the management institutes. So I used to tell them the first thing itself, look here, I don't guarantee that I know everything that you will be asking, but certainly one thing, if you ask me a question, I'll try to find out the answer and let you know. This way, you are much more comfortable. If you don't assume that you know everything, doesn't matter. There's nobody in this world who knows everything. So that's where the changing role of the teacher is most important. If we accept that, we'll be very, very comfortable. Well, this is again the most important. I've been in the training institute for long, so I know the importance of training. And that's what this workshop is about, I guess. See, I told you about what are the developing LLM-centric MOOCs. And in fact, in SWAYAM, we do the training program or the capacity development program for all the faculty who are selected to offer the courses. We put them on a course. In fact, there is a course, MOOC on MOOCs we call it, how to develop SWAYAM courses. We have courses on that also. Because what are the instructional techniques that are to be used in that? And another thing is use of open education resources, OERs. Means you don't have to everything, you don't have to teach or speak yourself. There'll be a lot of material available in fact, with the Ministry of Education itself, where it's available, in the open sources that is available. But be sure that when you take these resources, you do not violate the copyrights. If somebody says that, no, you cannot use it, you can only read it, please don't take it. So be very careful. This is again what we teach in the capacity building programs. When you take an open education resource, we should be very clear that we are not violating the copyright rules, IPR, intellectual property rights. The last one is very important. I'm sure you would cover this, assessment techniques and grading policies. There are umpteen techniques of assessment available in the online teaching. Plenty of them are available. And you know that as teachers, you would know how difficult it is to set a proper question paper. And all the more it is difficult when we know that it's an online exam and there will be multiple choice, or need not be only that, but how to put it. So you got to see that, you know that a certain percentage of the questions has to be of average this thing, so that the scoring 50% should be fair, anybody who understands, but scoring 80-90% should be, scoring above 90 should be much difficult. Like that, the So all these assessment techniques and grading policies are something which we teach about in the in the online education. We do cover that. I'm sure some of you will be covering in the workshop too. So what is more important is that what I'm trying to stress here is that anybody who is going to offer courses in the online education platform should undergo a proper training programs or capacity buildings. It's not that then you will be exposed to a huge lot of techniques so that you can do extremely well using that. And we have cases where one of the persons who was offering a course in SWAYAM before taking the training had about 200, 300 people who are taken the course. And after going through the course, the same course he offered again in SWAYAM, he had 12,500 students opting for the course. So this makes a huge difference. Well, what we do in SWAYAM is that to spread awareness among the faculty and students, we have created local chapters. We have about 3,000 local chapters. They are just units within the user groups, you can say, in the colleges and universities, which help the students to enroll in courses and register for the exam, facilitate the faculty to use SWAYAM course in a flipped classroom or blended mode and become a SWAYAM course coordinator. See, this point, of course, I did talk about that. How to use the SWAYAM. See, one is that the student can totally take the SWAYAM course. Another is that a faculty who is teaching in a university could use a SWAYAM course also in a flipped classroom or a blended mode. Because this is the most effective way. You can ask the student to go through certain videos and this thing, come back to the class, discuss it. Okay? So you say that, okay, I am teaching, let us say, economics. Some lecture I gave. I said, okay, now you go back. I would suggest that you go through these lectures in SWAYAM in this particular course and come back tomorrow, then we will discuss. So then this becomes an effective this thing. You can use it in the blended mode. This is the most effective way of using it. Then, of course, how to create courses. We have about, as I said, about 3,800 chapters have been set up. This is just a voluntary activity. We support them to buy, very small financial amounts are there, but that's more important is that as a user group, you get formed so that help each other in the local this thing. It is a local chapter in the university and in the colleges. This is very, very effective. Well, what's the current status now in SWAYAM? We have offered more than 4,200 courses have been offered since 2017. 1.7 crore students have enrolled in various courses. Now, what is happening is that UGC has permitted certain top class universities which are having a NAC rating of 3.26 or above and 100 as per first 100 NIRF ranked institutions to offer online degree programs, full-fledged online degree program through SWAYAM. Of that, about 35 programs are now offered by 7 universities, and the list is increasing. The Ministry of External Affairs now is offering SWAYAM courses to African students. In fact, the 20 countries, from 20 countries, the African students have enrolled in SWAYAM courses. And we have now last time conducted examination even in Ghana. So this is going really international. So there are no bounds to that. Under the EVAB, Vidya Bharati Arogya Bharati project, the Ministry of External Affairs is offering that. In fact, some of our SWAYAM courses, there's huge demand from the African students. Well, this is again just summing up. Academician, how can you benefit? Well, it can be used in the blended or classroom mode, can facilitate effective learning and teaching, and the changing role of the teachers. These all I have mentioned. I think I have covered what I need to in the SWAYAM. Now let's go to the next big initiative of SWAYAM Prabha. What is SWAYAM Prabha? Well, it is basically the concept is to use television, learning through television. See, our Honorable Prime Minister, he had this vision of using the television for learning, even when he was the Chief Minister of Gujarat. Just listen to what he says at there.
તો એકલવ્ય ખાલી એક પૂતળું બનાવીને ભણી શકતો હોય તો આપણે ટીવી સામે જોઈને ના ભણી શકીએ? ભણી શકાય. આપણને કોઈ સિનેમાનું ગીત કોઈ ક્લાસમાં ભણાવ્યું તો, કોઈ શિક્ષકે ભણાવ્યું તો? ટીવી પર જોઈને આવડી ગયું ને. જો સિનેમાનું ગીત આવડી જતું હોય, દરેક શબ્દ આવડી જતા હોય, એનો રાગ આવડી જતો હોય, એનો ઢાળ આવડી જતો હોય, એનો અર્થ એ ટીવી પરથી પણ ભણી શકાય છે.
No, this means what he's trying to say is obviously that why cannot you use television as a mode of learning? Very right. Well, again, the very first speech that the Honorable Prime Minister made to the Parliament in June 2014, immediately after assuming taking over as Prime Minister of the country, here also he expressed his vision of using satellite technology for using the, just let us listen to him.
गांव के बालक को भी उत्तम से उत्तम शिक्षा मिले. मान ले पल भर के लिए शायद हमारे पास हर गांव में अच्छे टीचर ना हो, लेकिन आज का विज्ञान हमें लॉन्ग डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन के लिए पूरी ताकत देता है. शहर में बैठ करके भी उत्तम से उत्तम शिक्षक के माध्यम से गांव के आखिरी छोर पर बैठे हुए स्कूल के बच्चे को हम पढ़ा सकते हैं. हम सैटेलाइट व्यवस्था का उपयोग, उस आधुनिक विज्ञान का उपयोग हम गरीब बच्चों की शिक्षा के लिए क्यों न करें?
So you listen to the Honorable Prime Minister. So it is this vision that we have realized through SWAYAM Prabha. That is using television and the satellite technology for taking high quality education to the masses. Okay, the next one is just the budget speech of the Finance Minister. Okay, now let me see what are the features in that. This I did mention, use of satellite technology. It is conceived as a group of 34 DTH channels telecasting high quality education programs at 24/7 basis using GSAT-15 satellite. Now, every channel has 6 to 8 hours of fresh content every day, which is repeated to facilitate viewing. So that if you miss at one, the thing you can watch it at the next one. Then the contents are curriculum based, school, graduate, postgraduate levels covered in a very structured manner. The lectures are by the best teachers and from premier institutions in the country. Covers all disciplines, schools, engineering, science, humanities, commerce, etc. In fact, we have one channel for IIT PAL which covers mathematics, physics, chemistry, and biology to assist the 11th and 12th class students to prepare for competitive exams like IIT, JEE. This is a very hugely popular channel. Now, this is the same thing, there are engineering channels are 10, non-engineering PG channels are again 10, Indira Gandhi Open University channels are 4, IIT panel are 4, now coming to 1, NCERT and NIOA. This is the current breakup of the channels, but this is getting changed now from 15th of August, where 12 channels are going to be for the school education and 22 are going to be for the higher education. In fact, when this COVID pandemic started, we realized that the connectivity in certain parts of the country are not very good. Connectivity means the internet connectivity and all. Because unless you have the internet connectivity, you cannot access the online education portals like SWAYAM. So that is where a scheme like SWAYAM Prabha is very useful. Here the coverage is across the country, irrespective of the terrain, because it is going through DTH. You know the DTH like Tata Sky or Airtel or DD Free Dish. You can access it anywhere in the country. All you need is a top box and an antenna. Now, I'll come to that, how to receive it. Now, there is a portal which has got swayamprabha.gov.in, which has got all the program schedules, the archival of videos, search and browse. The archival of videos means whatever is telecast today is archived on YouTube tomorrow. So that even if somebody misses all the transmissions today, he can always catch up by going through the videos. The whole idea is that a student who is pursuing his education through SWAYAM Prabha And it's in a very structured manner. For example, it also follows the curriculum. Say, let us say statistics, let us say economics. The lectures are broadcast in the same sequence. In fact, in this semester many of the universities are going online. We are now trying to put all those online classes through SWAYAM Prabha so that it can be accessed anywhere in the country. In fact, how to access that, I will let you know that. See, it's like a DTS. Do not get puzzled by this diagram. This is nothing but what? It gets uplink from a facility in Vizag, Gandhinagar, and it can be received using a set-top box and an antenna by any subscriber. Now, how to receive it? I'm coming to that. To receive that, all you need is a small size dish, a DTH, chhatri कहते हैं उसको, set-top box. Now, the subscribers of free dish DTH service of Doordarshan do not require any other equipment because these channels and the Doordarshan channels are using the same satellite. All you need is an antenna and set-top box of Doordarshan. This is available in the market for less than 1,500 rupees. And remember one thing, this is a one-time expenditure. If you already do not have a DD free dish or a set-top box. If you have it, zero expenditure. If you do not have it, you need to spend one time this much money, and there are no monthly charges. Everything is free. And in cities like Delhi, this is available for less than 1,000 rupees. So I'm telling 1,500 is on the upper side. A small dish and a set-top box. Television, of course, you will have in your house. And also, the subscribers of Dish TV of C can also see this using the same set-top box. So the people who are subscribers of Doordarshan Free Dish and Dish TV need not spend any money or need not set up anything. It's all available to them. Where this using the same set-top box and antenna, you can see this. And also, Jio. The Jio TV telecasts all these channels for their Jio subscribers. The Jio TV has got that. So who are all the subscribers of Jio, the mobile subscribers, these channels are available on their mobile phone. We have also a SWAYAM Prabha mobile app, which can be downloaded and used. Well, these are some of the technical parameters which I don't think we should be worried about. So what I mean to say is that this is a very, very, now with the COVID pandemic coming up, we suddenly realized that this is such a powerful medium with the Honorable Prime Minister envisaged way back, I mean years back, that this is an effective technology. We are now using it very effectively, and this is a very powerful medium. All the videos which are produced for SWAYAM are also telecast through SWAYAM Prabha, and much more than that on that. And there is no monthly expenditure, one-time setup, that's all, and it's available right at your home. So this is the second initiative. And let me quickly, the next 5 minutes, briefly mention about the other initiatives. That is National Digital Library of India. One thing, let me tell you, that all these initiatives, it is very easy to remember the URL. It is only .gov.in. Say SWAYAM means swayam.gov.in. SWAYAM Prabha means swayamprabha.gov.in. NDL means ndl.gov.in. This is a URL. This was launched again in 2018. It has got more than 4 crore books, journals, and audio books. It is accessible by anyone from anywhere. There's a single window search facility which filters can personalize, and the contents are available in 200 plus languages. We have a number of institutions, and there is a mobile app, and this can be used by anybody, can be used by anyone from anywhere, and there are no charges for that. It's a digital online library which should be effectively used by the students, faculty, research holders. There's a huge repository of material in that. Which can be used. Now, E-Yantra is another robotics project which is done by IIT Bombay. IIT Bombay. It supports the innovation by students. In fact, it helps set up the robotics laboratories in the colleges and institutes, and competitions are held across colleges to create awareness. We have about 296 labs are established in 32 regions and proposed to establish about 500 labs. More than 2,000 teachers are trained, and a large number of teams participate in the competitions, basically to promote robotic education in the colleges. This is the project for that. And virtual labs. Well, this is gaining a lot of importance now, mentioned extremely, very well in the new education policy also. Because when you go online, the experiments, how to do the experiments, this has to be done in a virtual manner. That is why all these experiments, there are a number of curriculum where one has to demonstrate something, or even ask the students to do something. Since it's all in a virtual world, so these laboratories are created in the virtual world. That is the virtual laboratory. And more than 100 labs, such laboratories have been created by a group of educational institutions under the IIT Delhi. Along with IIT Delhi, it's a group. And 700 plus equipment-enabled experiments are there. And what I said, that open education use of that, these resources can be used by the faculty while creating the SWAYAM courses. That's what it is. These virtual labs have been created. This could be used by the faculty to offer courses. This could be used to offer courses by the faculty members. And also more and more labs are getting created to ensure that more effective online education is possible. Well, in my talk, I think I've tried to cover the importance of the general thing of the online education or the digital initiatives, why it is important, especially in with the announcement and implementation of the new education policy, and what are the changes that are required, how do we adopt it. And I spend time discussing about the digital initiatives such as SWAYAM, the national online education platform, SWAYAM Prabha, the DTH television education channel, and briefly I did touch upon the National Digital Library, the E-Yantra, and the virtual lab initiatives. These are all only the tip of the iceberg. Much more is there, and in fact, these are all the tools available to you. Let loose your creativity. Use all these facilities and impart education in a more effective manner, for imparting education in a more effective manner, because we know that these are all only the facilities that are available to you. Exploit them, enjoy using them, and be part of creating many of them. And I wish all of you a very nice time in doing this workshop. I enjoyed talking to you. Hope you also found my presentation useful. Thank you very much. All the very best.